tried to get out, and the time was now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of Sitting Down with Standups. I am your co-host, Justin Sakarica. As always, we have the Bean behind the scene, Daryl Bean, aka White Daryl, doing all of the technical stuff because, again, I have no idea how any of that works. It's a good thing we have Daryl because I would screw everything up so bad. Like I said, Elena doesn't eat pickles, therefore she's fired. She's gone. Until Elena eats a pickle, she's not allowed back in this basement. So in the meantime, to my left, I have the very lovely Robyn Gilleran. How are you doing, Robyn?
I'm doing great because I love pickles.
Yeah, see, now pickles are great, right? What is wrong with Elena? Why is she not eating pickles?
I don't know. I think there's something wrong with her taste buds.
There must be.
Yeah.
There must be. Have you ever had McClure's pickles?
Yes.
McClure's are the best. They're spicy pickles.
Absolutely.
Absolutely amazing.
They also
Pickles-
make a good Bloody Mary mix.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
You have to cut it with tomato.
Oh, really?
Yeah, regular because it's really strong.
You know what? Maybe one day we should have like a Bloody Mary thing here, Daryl. We'll have like a Bloody Mary bar
That
and
sounds
just
like
get
fun.
drunk in the basement. Be amazing, yeah. Or as I call it, Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Saturday.
yeah. So by the time this episode airs, it's going to be near the holiday season, and I keep thinking back to when I was a little boy, and there was one year for Christmas. I asked my father for 3 things for Christmas.
Okay.
I asked him for a drum set, and because I was a big fan of the video game Castlevania, I also asked him for a knife and a bullwhip.
Oh.
Guess which one of those he did not get me, because it was too noisy.
The drum set?
Yes, but he got me a knife and a bullwhip,
That's insane.
because apparently murder is fine, but noise is not okay.
I want to see the video footage of the man buying those 2 things.
Oh my, yeah. I want to see the footage of my mother being like, John,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Well,
Our
these aren't for
son.
me. This is for my son.
Yeah, exactly.
They also get duct tape,
I mean,
My tools.
Yeah.
I must have my
a
tools.
blindfold.
extension cord, chloroform, the works.
sweet. Aw.
Yeah, but it was, I remember thinking, like, at the time I'm upset because I'm like, I wanted my drums, but I'm like, no, I've got a whip and a knife, and yeah,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, I know.
Did you ever get your drums?
I never got my drums, and I never became the next Neil Peart, so, but I have both arms,
That's
so.
a bummer.
Wait, no, Def Leppard's the guy that has one arm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Neil Peart is Rush. I don't know how I screwed that up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea, so.
No, but yeah, I never became musically inclined.
Aw,
Yeah,
I'm
so
I about
I
that.
can't.
Yeah,
But I wish I
never
would've gotten
ever didn't get a present that I asked for. Isn't that a terribly spoiled thing to say?
I
always
mean,
got what I
but
asked
see, but that's a good childhood though. But I mean, like you weren't asking for like a Corvette or anything. were you?
No,
Or,
no,
like,
but
yeah.
one year I did ask for a Cabbage Patch Kid, which was very hard to come by in 1983, I would say, 1984. And my parents set me up. They said, I'm so sorry, you're not getting a Cabbage Patch Kid. They're all sold out. And lo and behold, on Christmas morning, I got a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Very nice.
Because my dad was a very smart man, and he found a truck in Detroit. So he got some sort of black market Cabbage Patch Kid off the back of a truck. Yep. So
Wow.
He made it work. I don't know.
And you're sure that this wasn't like an actual child that you had? Some guy
know.
just
A real stuffed child.
Yeah.
Well, they were up for adoption regardless.
Oh,
so.
okay. This could just be a rumor, and Daryl, if you want to look this up for me, have you heard the rumor? Because didn't the Cabbage Patch Kids have names?
Yeah, they did have names.
Is it true that the Cabbage Patch Kid names were picked from kids who died? Isn't that like
What?
It's like an urban legend
yeah,
or something?
Somebody look that up. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
Cabbage Patch Kid. Like there's something weird with Cabbage Patch
That's
Kids.
bullshit.
I think mine was a Cabbage Crack Kid.
Yeah. Coming off the back of a truck in Detroit. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. But I swear to God, there's like some
Okay,
weird
we'll have
rumor.
to look that up. But they
Yeah.
did come with the birth certificate,
You see, and I
Yeah.
think the birth certificate were from the kids who would like.
their death certificates.
Yeah, isn't there something about that? I mean, I don't know.
That's
Maybe
great.
I just hear these weird
I hope
rumors
this is
and
true because that's a really great story.
yeah.
I was sad mine didn't look like me. Anyway,
Oh.
it didn't. I was, yeah. But,
Well, because I mean, but has it grown
because
up?
you just got what you got off the
Yeah.
truck. It's like, who's this baby daddy?
Yeah. I got a Muppet that I rearranged for you. Here you go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man,
But I'm
but-
sorry you didn't get your drum set.
Well, again, it's probably for the better.
I say
Because,
it's never too late. You could have room for one right over there.
oh, I would be terrible. My neighbors would hate me.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's what neighbors are for.
I would stop getting free bananas from Johnny B.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The bananas.
Yep, Johnny B. the Banana Man. He's always there running around doing his thing. So, yeah,
Great.
I am never low in potassium. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
well, you're a runner. You need that stuff.
I do need that, yeah. But yeah, no, I got shafted as a kid. I never got my drum set, but I'm very glad that your dad getting the Cabbage Patch Kid was Johnny on the spot.
Yes.
And speaking of Johnnies, there it is. There's the terrible transition.
That's a good one. I like it.
We have a very funny guy as our guest today. He is also probably the most movie-savvy comedian I think I've ever met. This guy is great, and I remember the first time I saw him, I was with you at Supernatural, and you said this guy is very funny, and you weren't lying. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our very funny guest, Johnny Mocny.
Yeah.
Here's
Johnny.
Make your entrance. Oh my God, we totally should have had you do that. Take an axe and come through the door.
Oh, man.
Like, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
I don't need that door there, dude. All right, we're going to restart everything. I'm going to go buy an axe at Home Depot, get you in here,
I
and
think we're good.
yeah, we're
There we go.
awesome. We
No,
are plugged in.
You guys did you touched every single cliche that I've gotten. I've gotten Johnny on the spot.
Beautiful.
Times. I get Here's Johnny.
Yep.
Nice.
People who are old enough to be referencing Ed McMahon and people that are just doing The Shining.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
exactly what we strive for
What
here.
about
the most
do
highbrow.
old people ever say, who's Johnny? She said, and
Got it twice.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
I'm an
Yep.
old person.
Every Johnny. Yeah.
Every Johnny.
Johnny Bravo. Johnny Quest.
Johnny
Yeah.
Qu-
Johnny
Oh,
be
I
good.
Johnny be
That-
good. Yep.
Johnny be bad.
Haven't gotten that one yet.
I don't know what that is.
It just sounded good, so I said it. I just sounded good, so I wait.
It's the evil version of Johnny B.
Johnny be good.
No, Johnny B. Bad was a wrestler in WCW.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, and he was like an evil little Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So next year for Halloween, you're going as Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a confetti bomb that he would blow off, and
That's fantastic.
yeah. Oh man.
He was bad just because he made a mess.
Well, yeah. Well, what's crazy is that they always had him open up every pay-per-view, and the ring would be covered in confetti, and people like stop having this guy be the opening match because he puts confetti all over the damn ring.
Okay, yeah.
So
There's no leaf blower? Come on.
yeah, no leaf blowers. Yeah. I think my neighbor was leaf blowing earlier. Was she out there? Did you see
Yeah.
her? Oh, you saw her?
I don't think I saw her on my way.
Oh no. She talked to you?
No.
Good.
No, but we said-
She was at leaf blowing.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
When I came in, she was just like,
She looked
Yeah.
like she should have been going to brunch, but she was leaf
She
blowing.
should have been going to brunch. Yeah. Leave me alone.
She's
so.
probably on her way out and then saw the leaves and was like, "Fuck, I gotta take care of this first."
Yeah, I'll make all the noise I can.
in my
So,
heels.
Yeah.
She wasn't wearing heels.
Oh man.
Do you ever go out there and go, "Excuse me, we're recording sitting down with stand-ups in here, so if you could keep it down."
Well, actually, the one day we filmed in the backyard,
Yeah.
and that was the day when people want to like start mowing their grass and everything, and
Right.
it was funny because the guy behind me, he was mowing his grass, and he ran over something. It was like, I
Yeah.
was like, serves you right, motherfucker. Serves you right for interrupting our barbecue podcast. So.
Yeah. You had Lou Michael with you then.
I did. Yep, I had Lou
yeah.
Michael and Jason Jamerson.
Yeah. They
nice.
could have intimidated him. Into
Well-
stopping. Yeah.
Did you see how they did the Predator handshake?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that the neighborhood didn't blow up from the shockwave of their missiles. Yeah.
Lou's, if you ever need a reference like an '80s movie, Lou's there for you. I
Gotcha.
think he's your
That's
guy.
good.
Yeah. Specifically that, like the testosterone, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, like
I
that.
think that's when I stopped watching movies in the 80s.
In the '80s.
Oh,
That's
God.
all your
The
reference
80s,
points.
the 80s was such a great decade for movies, man. Like, in my opinion, the best decade for horror movies by
yeah.
far. I mean, and you're the movie buff guy here, so, you're the guy that can really kind of put, like,
Yeah.
some validation on my opinions here.
Sure,
Or
well,
shoot me down.
I don't disagree with. Well, so I wouldn't say it's the best. I like the '80s just fine. I think the thing about the '80s though is it was sort of a reaction to the '70s. Where in the '70s you had, all of these post-studio system like auteur guys, like you had, Spielberg and then like Coppola and like all these guys who came in and Cassavetes in like the late '60s, and they were kind of doing weird, interesting things. And then I think Rocky comes out near the end of the 70s, and they're like, oh no, people want happy stuff again. And then and then the 80s was kind of like very Reagan, very like glamour and like very like clean, and there's this sheen over all those movies. But in that, I think you get, the slasher movies especially. Like, all the trends that they follow, there's still so much fun stuff in there. But, like, sometimes it's just like, they're not as gritty as, like, the 70s.
Gotcha, kind of that more, like, the Grindhouse type thing.
Yeah, the Grindhouse, or even, like, like, Godfather, you know. Like, but, no, I'll validate you.
Thank you, yes, thank you. Coming from him, it means a lot.
My favorite movie of all time is The Thing. It's from
it's
1982, so.
Top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Top 3, and I go back and forth between like Jurassic Park, The Thing, and Pulp Fiction. Okay, those 3 are always kind of like rotating, but that movie is just
2
so
monster movies, and then kind of a loose crime comedy.
Exactly. Yeah. What is your favorite movie, Robyn?
You know, I was sitting here thinking about, like, if somebody asked me what my favorite movie was, it's kind of scary. Like, I don't even know if I have a favorite movie. Isn't that so weird?
Not really.
I was a film minor in college.
Oh, wow.
And I worked on movies.
Did you fall out of love with movies because of the film studies?
I worked on movies. Like, I was a producer, production assistant, type person. And I'll be honest, and you guys are going to make fun of me, my favorite movie might be Grease.
Oh.
I mean, no, that's a fair. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but I mean, I know a lot of people who love that movie, though.
But the production quality and putting all of that dancing and singing and the costuming and I don't know. So, and I was the first movie I saw in the movie theater as a kid, like. I went with a friend, and I don't even, when did it even come out? Jason will know, probably.
Like late 70s, I think.
78. So I would have been 5. And I went with my friend, who was like 2 or 3 years older than me. Like, and so that's how the 70s were, you guys. You could drop off your 5-year-old and your 7-year-old at the movies. To go to the movies. So.
Oh, gotta be.
That's such a. I mean, but I think that what makes somebody's favorite movie though is oftentimes that it's just
nostalgia.
Formative. It hits you at the right time. You know, maybe if you hadn't seen Grease at 5, you would have never been a film minor. You know, maybe you wouldn't have.
I don't know, or a theater kid. You know, I was like, yeah, that's so fun. Do you have a favorite movie?
Probably The Thing. I always tell people. So I have a letterbox. My top 4 in letterbox is like The Thing, Jaws, because I saw that at such a young age. It was
great movie.
For me.
I saw that at a drive-in, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. The artsy, fartsy part of me says Ran, the Akira Kurosawa movie. Oh yeah, I got Daryl's on his head. Cool. Ran, and then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is great.
All the time.
And I always go back and forth between The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly or Once Upon a Time in the West for the best final duel in a movie. Yeah. I go back and forth between those two so much.
Just really long, like,
drawn out.
Just stretch out the tension. Yeah.
But the scores in those movies are fantastic.
Oh yeah, Ennio Morricone,
Which he is so underrated. Did he ever get an Oscar?
He got an Oscar, funny enough, for The Hateful Eight in 2015.
Really?
Yeah. That was
of all the movies.
He got an honorary Oscar before that because they were like, oh, he's never going to win. But he's been working for 50, 60 years. He also did the score for The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tarantino had him do The Hateful Eight, and that finally won him an Oscar. Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of, was it Sergio Leone? I don't think he ever won an Oscar, did he?
I don't think so.
Damn it.
He only did like 6 or 7 movies.
Yeah.
Does this disappoint you?
It does disappoint me. It's like how John Goodman has never been nominated for an Oscar, has he?
John Goodman is one of those American treasures that we just take for granted.
For real, yeah.
You know, like he's still doing the like Roseanne spinoff.
The Connors, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like he should be like a Robert De Niro, I think, in our brains, like in terms of like how legendary
longevity of career.
Exactly. It's like I don't know anybody who doesn't like John Goodman.
No, he's always great.
Unless you don't like him, Robyn, and you're hiding something. No, I'm kidding. She's like, fuck John Goodman. Yeah. The whole way here, she's like, fuck John Goodman.
I hope they don't bring him up.
Yeah. And here we did. We bring up John Goodman. I call him John Badman.
That's a great pun.
That's a great pun. That's
Johnny B. Badman. Yeah.
Johnny B. Badman. Yes.
There you go. We're back to square one.
Tagging it up, yes.
That's a callback.
And this is why I don't get booked. Because I tell terrible puns in my basement.
No, I love puns. It's good.
I like the basement a lot, too. This is a great,
He needs a drum set over there, though, don't
you?
It is. There's a perfect spot for a drum set.
I agree.
Exactly. And you know what? Maybe I'll get one, and I'm going to do a horrible drum set, and I will send it to my parents like, see See, you missed this as a child.
Yeah.
I could have been something.
You could be like Tam White. She just took drum lessons.
Really? I
and
had
she
no
learned
idea.
perfectly. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tam is too talented.
No.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Isn't it her birthday
unfair
today,
how
or
talented
was
she
it
is.
yesterday?
I don't know.
Facebook is so bad about
'Cause it's
reminding you
December
about
now,
birthdays.
so
Yeah. Oh yeah,
November.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
We
her birthday is in November.
gotcha. Yeah.
It
I'm just
passed.
teasing you.
This isn't live, by the way. Yeah, we don't do this live.
I love
And I
it.
didn't change my shirt either. Whoops, I didn't do the wardrobe change.
This episode's going to end with In Memory of Johnny Mocny.
Yeah, no.
Between the
No.
recording.
Don't say that.
No.
He has a manifestation
Oh, yeah,
going
'cause-
on.
Oh, no.
Well, I was talking about how
Not good.
anytime I say that a local comedian is my favorite local comedian, they end up quitting. Like, so for example, Dan Curry is one of them. Ben Max is one of them. Adam Herzl was one of them. So I'm done. But like 4 out of the 5 guys that I got into fights with in high school have died. And I'm just hoping
You
that
didn't kill them.
I didn't kill them, but they've died. And
Incidentally.
I'm hoping that Brandon is okay. Maybe I should look him up.
Yeah.
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 Obituaries.
Yeah. Like, no.
So don't be Justin's favorite comedian and don't get in a fight with him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'll be
Those
fine.
are our life lessons today, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I say you're my favorite comedian and I punch you, you'll die instantly. It'll be
Yeah.
it'll be a double whammy right there.
Or they'll cancel each other out.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe I need to do that. Like, dude, you're so funny. I love you, but I'm sorry. Bam.
Yeah.
Had to save you, man. It's It's,
Next week you'll be on the Tonight Show. It'll be the same.
yeah. Exactly. Oh man, it'll be
Punched him
great.
into his new career.
I did. Yeah. Oh man. So speaking of comedy, man, like, how did you get involved into comedy?
I started right out of high school. I graduated from high school in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I technically started at my high school talent show. My junior year and my senior year, I did it both
Amazing.
years.
Yeah.
I remember, because I just started, I'd always been into comedy. Since I was
Yeah.
like 5 years old, I saw like my first Mel Brooks movie. And I was like such a comedy person. And then I started getting into stand-up and I watched like everything that was on Netflix. So I watched all the
Yeah.
Louis C.K. specials and the Jim Jeffries specials and everything that a young guy,
No
watches
parental
at that time.
controls,
No,
right?
no, I had
Yeah.
a little laptop. Nobody knew what I was
Yeah.
watching. I had earbuds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did stand up at both of these, both of these talent shows, and I did like 15 minutes at my first talent show, and then
Oh,
I did
God,
like
wow.
almost 20 at my second talent show, and I was killing because I was the only person doing stand up, and I'm the only person not doing like a acoustic guitar cover. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
So it was refreshing to people, and I walk out of high school like I got 35 good minutes. I'm the best comedian of all. And then I did my first open mic, which was Max in town at because I live in Lansing, and I immediately was like, oh, I got 2 good minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it all
very
comes
humbling
crashing
like
down.
when you first start. Like,
Yeah.
just because you can talk for 25 doesn't mean you have a good 25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I love, especially running an open mic, because I run Crunchies. You get
Mm-hmm.
so many guys that are like the funniest person in their friend group, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be a walk in the park,"
Yep.
and everything comes crumbling down at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
And it's like if they're satisfied enough in their life, they're never going to try it again.
Yeah.
but if there actually
Looking
is
for
like a
acceptance.
right,
Yeah.
if there's a hole in their heart, then they'll keep coming
Yeah.
back and
That's
trying.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you tell any of those jokes that you told in high school? Like, are there any premises that you still use, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's one, I think. There's
Yeah.
just one. There's one joke I told in high school, which is about guys who drew a dick on my windshield with the grease on their fingers.
Yes.
And every year when it gets cold, I think about it because it comes back. Actually returns, and that was the
Kind of
I
like my ex-boyfriend.
yeah. And I think I didn't even. And then I joke about how I'm like I'd complain, but like on a foggy night, it's my only way of getting home. Like, like align my eyes with each testicle.
That's amazing.
But I think when I didn't say dick. I changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then later I was just like, oh, I'm rock and roll, no rules. So I
Dick,
changed it to
baby.
dick. And I think that's the only one that stuck around. The rest of
Yeah.
them, not a lot of them,
Yeah.
like work anymore.
Did anyone record it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's out there. It's
Oh,
on. I
that's
think it's on the
amazing.
Okemos channel out there.
Oh, wow.
I
Which,
love
for the
this.
record, you can't hear the laughs very well. They did not mic the audience.
Oh, I don't think anyone laughed, actually.
Yeah.
Probably
Good. Nice
In my
call,
head,
yeah.
everybody
Well,
laughed.
They didn't mic the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the excuse.
I
Yeah.
heard my mom
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah. God, my mom doesn't even laugh at my jokes when she comes to my shows.
Oh, my mom
She'll
is
sit
the
there
best
shaking her
laugher.
head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She'll sit like this and go,
My parents used to come to every open mic I did until I think I did one joke that they were like, I think we're good. It was
My dad was the same way. My dad came to a lot of my first shows at Joey's.
Yeah.
And then over the years, he's like, you haven't written anything new. And
Right.
I've heard them all, so he's like, I'd rather go dancing. I'm like, hey, I understand. It's
Yeah.
cool,
I
man.
love it.
My parents will still come if it's like a real show and if it's close to them,
Sure.
Like I was opening for Brad at the Robyn Theater, and that's pretty close to them. So they're like, all right, we'll come, we'll buy tickets, but no, they're not going to go to an open mic on a weeknight anymore.
Yeah.
Occasionally, if they have nothing to do, but I beg them not to. I don't want people I know to see me at an open mic.
See, like I don't mind. I'm like, everybody come and have a good time. And like
That's
the last show my dad came to is one of the shows I did at the Village Theater at Cherry Hill in Canton. And again, he also loved Dan Curry. He's like, that Dan guy was funny. I'm like, what about your son? He's like, what time do you want to get lunch Sunday? And I'm like, well,
Are your parents funny?
They're fine.
they're fine.
I mean, look, my dad's a classic Midwest dad. He makes me laugh. Not for the reasons he wants to, though.
You're laughing at him.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, I love my dad, but yeah. My mom's occasionally funny too. I think it's again when she's not trying.
Yeah. Well, that's like comedy. That's all comedy. When you're not trying is when you're probably
natural comedy.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
so funny.
But no, definitely not. They're not comedians. They're not, and they don't like a lot of. I think my mom more so than my dad likes the comedians I like. My dad, was like, it's funny, Gallagher, like, he's like, I don't know, like, my dad and I saw Tim Allen together, and we had a great time, but like some of the stuff that I like, I remember showing my dad Shane Gillis' special, and he was like kind of nodding the whole time. He was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. But like he couldn't quite, get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Is your dad one of those like, hey, pull my finger type guys?
No.
That was my dad.
He's not as silly. Yeah. All of his jokes kind of amount to like, my wife's got me sleeping on the couch tonight, like classic, yeah. Like imagine if Rodney Dangerfield had the premise and that was it.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of my dad's jokes.
No joke, no
none of the
punchline.
wordplay, none of the yeah. Just the premise.
God, yeah. He's like a real life Rodney Dangerfield with no humor.
Right.
But he happens to be funny.
Yeah, well, and I respect him. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Somebody respects him.
So he does get respect.
He does get respect. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually talked about Rodney Dangerfield a little bit on the last episode, and who are some comedians, living or dead, that you would love to work with?
Well, Shane Gillis, I guess, is one of them, living. My favorite comic of all time is Norm Macdonald, which is, I know, a basic answer probably.
But he's great.
He's great.
Who Jason said he would want to.
Yeah. He's just one of those guys, like, they call him the comics comic because I think if you are really into comedy and you've seen all kinds of things, he's one of those few people that's still, like, unpredictable and subversive, but also very traditional in, like, a lot of ways. It's really bizarre. I really wanted to open for Nick Mullen when he came to town. I couldn't, but no, I would work with Nick Mullen. If we're going all the way back, for Richard Pryor, I don't know.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd work with anybody who could get me a good opportunity in the industry, I guess.
Well, I mean, you got to take any opportunity that you get.
Yeah.
No, of course. Yeah.
I mean, like, unless Hitler's doing comedy, then you're like, well, I don't want to work with that guy.
I've got one. Okay, this is
oh boy.
This is a unicorn. This is not Hitler related.
Okay.
This is like a unicorn because I don't even know if he tours ever, but one of my favorites working today is Gerard Carmichael. I don't know if you guys.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
Oh, I think he's one of the best, and he disappeared for a while. He had a moment where he was getting really popular. He had a sitcom. He's in the Neighbors movies with Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay.
And then he disappeared. And then I remember I was talking to Trevor Tress like last year, and we were just like, whatever happened to Gerard? He was like one of our favorite comedians ever. And then suddenly that year, he came out with a new special. Bo Burnham directed his special, Nathaniel, and then he hosted SNL, and then he hosted the Golden Globes, and then he
he's gone again.
He's back. Yeah.
He's back now.
I mean, he's kind of on a pause again. Maybe he's working up a new hour. I don't know. But
maybe he takes breaks.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he was in jail. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he got pregnant.
Oh, yeah. I bet that was it.
Yeah.
He probably had postpartum for a while, and, and then all
Well, I think in his last special, he came out as gay in the special, so he needs to think of a bigger thing, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got to top it. You can't go do that and then just go back to I've been working out lately.
Yeah.
Just continue to be fabulous. That's
Yeah.
Oh, man. You mentioned Trevor Tress.
Yeah.
And I know I've worked with him like once or twice in the past on a room. How's he doing? I haven't really heard much from him.
I saw him yesterday, actually.
Oh, nice.
It was his girlfriend's birthday, Ashley
Yay.
Keene.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
also
yeah, I
a
haven't seen her in a
concert.
while, yeah.
It was, Trevor's great. He's one of my best friends. We started together, we both were in Lansing at the time, and it was because of him, we kind of held each other accountable and went
great.
out
Yeah.
and went to other open mics together and
Good to
stuff.
have a partner.
And this was back when most open mics were at 10 p.m.
Oh, geez.
So we'd be getting back on a Wednesday night after midnight, just dude, are we ever going to do this again?
Yeah.
Contemplating quitting every day.
Yeah.
And then Nick Earl, my good buddy, we met him too, and we kind of became a trio of
That's fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, Trevor's not as active anymore. He kind of comes and goes. He's like Gerard Carmichael.
He was taking a small break, but I saw
Yeah,
him
yeah.
at Mark Ridley's. He opened for Jade Catapretta.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not too long ago, a few months ago, and he was incredible. He was
Yeah.
on fire. In my opinion, he blew the feature away.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
And he was opening. And Jade was really great too. That's how I got on Jamie Kimmel in Vegas through Jade, because I went to that
Oh,
show
yeah.
and met Jade. It was so much fun. Yeah. So Trevor was awesome. He was so
Yeah.
great. I went with Ashley.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club? That's
Yeah,
where
in
you were- okay,
Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, I just did a guest spot, 8 minutes for Jade, and she had all women lineup, all female lineup, and I was there for a family wedding, just looking to get on something,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get on anything, and then Chris Newberg actually stepped up and helped me connect with Jade, and she said, sure, she can do some time. So
Oh, cool.
Sweet,
That's
yeah.
it was
awesome.
really cool. Yeah, great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, Trevor is, I'll admit he's funny.
I'll admit he's funny.
watching- yeah.
Gotcha.
No, I definitely. It's
In
good when-
memory of Johnny
Yeah.
Mocny.
Well, when
everyone.
you're-
Johnny Mocny's going to join Carl Johnson, who, by the
Rest
way,
in peace, Carl Johnson.
Rest in peace, Carl
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think you're fortunate when you're just getting started. You see so many open micers that start and they latch on to whoever they can, right? Because you need buddies and you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
road tripping partners and stuff. And sometimes they don't surround themselves with funny people,
Yeah.
or there's sometimes unfunny people that are experienced and they're like, I need to take somebody under my wing, you know?
Yeah.
And you can fall maybe with the wrong person.
The wrong crowd, so to speak.
But Trevor and I were both equally new, and it just helped that he was as funny as he was already.
Yeah, you
'Cause
guys
it
are
was
both funny.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
and part of that's holding ourselves to those standards when you're with
yeah.
a funny person all
And
the
rising
time.
together, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
which is hard because as you rise, then it's like you're not really quite on a lot of shows together because
Yeah.
you're kind of at the, we're
Yeah.
both featuring or we're both, whatever, and so you get put on different things. So
Right.
maybe not doing so many open mics anymore, but you're getting booked on real shows.
That's what gets me going
Yeah.
back to the open mics every now and then.
To
Is
see
I
your
just
friends.
miss being around
yeah,
everybody.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Well, the hang is always the best part of any show.
Yeah.
Whether it's before, after, you're just sitting there talking about what you got going on and just kind of connecting on a human level and not a comedian level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, I guess when this airs, it'll be a while ago, but a couple weeks ago, I did a weekend at the Showcase in Ann Arbor, and it's every night when a different person comes in for the guest set, I'm relieved to see another friend, It's just
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you, and it's, and even if it's not your best friend, it's
Yeah, I just-
somebody you don't get to see a lot,
Yeah.
you know?
A friendly face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
a new face, too.
Or a new
Sometimes
face,
it's
yeah.
a new person.
Or a no face and you're fucking creeped out. What the hell's going on?
Slender Man,
Yeah, Slender Man comes in there, yeah.
Career.
Exactly, yeah.
He would be
Yeah. Joe would be there
cancel culture's out
Yeah.
of control, dude.
so what do you think about grizzly bears, man?
Yeah.
Fucking creepy, huh?
Yeah.
Not as creepy as me, though. But do you know who would be the best? I mean, actually, let me ask you your opinion. Which horror movie icon would be the best comedian? I've got one in my mind.
Oh, Freddy Krueger.
Okay, yes. Because he kind of became a comedian as
is a
time went on. In part 3 is where he started really kind of being throwing in the quips and everything.
Sure.
And, like, I'm not afraid of Freddie. I'm not.
Right.
Like, I'm like, dude, tell a joke, Freddie. I don't care if you kill me. Like, you're hilarious to me.
He literally
I'll
goes.
die laughing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. He goes from, like, in the first movie, he's like the Phantom of the Opera, and by the time you get to the end of it, he's Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
Like, he's just
yeah.
doing bits.
Yeah.
and it's more about the bit than the murder.
Exactly.
really.
Yeah.
Like,
With maybe the exception of Wes Craven's New Nightmare, that one kind of went back to more of like a straightforward, like, you
Yeah.
know, horror type thing. You know who else I find funny is God, why can't I think of her name? Annie Wilkes.
oh, and Misery?
I think she's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy
Have you
Bates
seen
in
Misery?
Misery.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Something
I can't
about her
remember.
just like screams that she'd be hilarious.
She would break the audience's legs and make them stay and watch her.
Yes.
That would be her.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some comedians where it feels like my legs are broken, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Or your
yeah.
soul is broken.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do you enjoy watching bad comedy ever?
I do.
No?
I do. I love it.
You do?
I'm a mess.
I'm with him on this. I
gosh.
kind of.
Okay, what do you enjoy about it? Tell us.
Okay, so I don't like indiscriminately love all bad comedy. I like comedy that's like when I can't even understand how they thought to think that. and
Yes.
say it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same way that, like, to go back to movies, something like The Room, right?
Yeah.
The Room is considered one of the best bad movies because Tommy Wiseau feels like an alien, and you don't understand how his brain works. And that is, like, when I see like, an interestingly bad open micer or something, it's like, for me, it's like, almost like anthropological. I'm like studying them, like how.
Like watching a wreck, like a car wreck.
Yes,
a little bit, but like dissecting it, like doing an autopsy, like how did they lead to this? And then also I do like cringe humor, so sometimes the intensity of the room, like that tension.
Oh yeah, you feel it.
Of everybody in pain, I kind of enjoy.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to mention names, but what is the worst set you've ever seen? Because I know I've got a good one.
I think you should mention names. I don't know.
I mean, you know what? I'll mention my name because he's not a comedian, but please.
I'm not going to mention this guy's name. I haven't seen him around ever, but he came to Crunchies before I started running it. He did a couple sets there, and he was a white rapper who pivoted to stand-up comedy.
Oh, no.
Had a stage name. And all of his jokes were like incomplete premises. And I would like, he had one joke there, he was just like, oh dude, what's the deal with John Wick? Like John Wick, you're killing everybody, dude. Like calm down. You're gonna kill everybody. And then he just moves on to the next bit. And I was like laughing till I was wheezing. I was like, that's not a joke.
I'm already laughing right now because of the whole.
It's the lack of any.
No, I totally feel you on that. My ex-girlfriend's roommate's boyfriend, Michael Aquilina was his name. He would always talk about how like good he'd be as a comedian. And this guy was like an alcoholic crackhead, and I couldn't stand the guy. So finally one day I got sick of him saying how good he'd be at comedy, and I was at Laugh Tracks, and they were gonna possibly cancel the show for that night because we needed one more comedian, and he was there to watch, and I'm like, guys, I'm getting Mike on. So I'm like, hey man, need your help, bro. We need one more comedian. Do you want to go on stage? It was my favorite set I have ever seen in my life. He got up there and he was like, hey everybody, so the Oscars were on.
Nice.
And
topical. Good.
What won? Straight out of Michigan? So politicians, man, yeah, you know,
Wait, what?
He just started rambling, and me and my friend were like we were seized up laughing so bad, and this went on for like 12 minutes.
No, that's
And
too long.
We had the tape at one point, but it went up to the cloud somewhere, and it's gone now.
Yeah.
It was the best set I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
mean, again, I love that. I don't know what it is.
I should have come to. Jason and I were doing a show at New Dodge. And this woman gets up, and I'm like, she's a virgin. It's her first time ever. And she gets up, and you're 5-minute sets. And we were already over our time. And I said, okay, we're going to shove you on 5 minutes, okay? And she gets up, and she tells an entire story about how she got cancer.
Jesus.
She didn't have cancer.
Oh.
Jason, here's
tests
Jason.
Took forever to do.
Yeah.
And the doctor and the insurance.
And the 3 months later, and there was
no
not.
humor.
It was a story, and
I
it
was
was
just saying,
not.
how did this not blow the roof off the
humor.
place?
There was
Going
not
into
one punchline, and she kept going and going and going. It was like 9 minutes.
We had ambulance lights to try to get her
9 minutes, and so I finally just go up there, or did you go?
I got up there.
Jason went up there and was like, "Okay, we gotta, thank you, we gotta." And then she like goes to Trixie's and rants about how we run a show and we weren't willing to let her do her jokes because they were too political.
What? It was not even.
I didn't hear one
Right.
joke.
That's
You
so
could say it. Was it Jane Dab?
No, it wasn't.
Premise. It wasn't. There was no. It was just like.
It wasn't Jane
was like
Dab.
calling Blue
Jane
Cross.
Dab has more jokes than this woman
Oh,
has.
I wish I would have seen her.
Like,
Whatever-
I've heard Jane Dab have at least one punchline in a 10-minute set.
Was it her or the puppet? Was it her or the puppet that?
Whenever anybody does that, I always just wonder. I'm like, what? How would you even? Because somebody will do something like that and they'll bomb, and
Yeah.
they'll like ask me or somebody, and they'll be like, "Hey, like, how would you punch this up?" I'm like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
like
perfect how it
cut the
is.
whole thing. I don't know. Like,
Perfect, just the way
Yeah, it's perfect.
it's
the way it
perfect.
is.
Yeah, no, keep
Yeah.
doing it. They'll come around, buddy.
Again, I just,
You'll be
I
fine.
love it. Again, I don't know what it is, and like, I love seeing that.
I don't
Yeah,
like it
so
at all. I don't like it at all.
I understand that because it's uncomfortable.
It's not because it's uncomfortable. It's because
I'm just an asshole.
It's an insult to our art form.
no. I'm like, do your fucking research. Like,
Right.
do you not know that there's a setup and a punchline? Like,
Yeah.
why is that so difficult for some people to understand? Like,
Well-
it would be like saying I'm going fishing,
Yeah.
and like going out with just a pole and no string.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fishing. You're not fishing.
I think what it is, a lot of people now, they get into comedy and they see people that are very ranty. They'll see like Bill Burr or something,
Sure.
and they'll go like, "Oh, I can do that," and they don't realize the science to it. That even the best ranty comedians, it's still like
There's punches in
meticulously
there.
yes,
planned.
yes.
There's
It's
punches.
built. It's built. It's
Yes,
not
there's
just
lines you remember.
Don't
It's-
fish
yeah.
without the line. Just
Exactly.
Yeah,
don't like.
that should be merch. Don't fish without the line.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, me and Trevor and Nick, and Jordan, who runs.
I love
Jordan's
him.
great.
Yes.
We adore bad comedy, and
Yeah,
I remember one of our earliest memories is Trevor, Nick, and I were at Home Slice, which isn't around anymore, but it was the Toledo
Yeah.
open mic
Oh, fun.
when we were first starting. Keith Bergman was running
Yeah.
it, and one guy was so bad. We were the only people laughing, and we were laughing really hard.
Because it was bad.
Right, to the point that Kyle Forsyth was there, and he turns and looks at us, and he's like, "Guys, you gotta stop, because everybody knows you're not laughing for the right reason." And it was like, we had to like step out. It was just,
I love that. Like, see, like, I'd be the same way. Like, I would just sit there and crack up because, I don't know, like, I guess I'm a sucker for misery.
Yeah.
It just, like, I don't know what it is about it, but...
if I had to separate what is good and bad versions of bad comedy, I remember I was at Parrots Lounge one time, and a guy went up, and he was following me, and then another comic, and we had both done jokes about being raised Catholic. And this guy starts off going, "Hey, all you comics that were raised Catholic, how about you Catholic my balls?" And I was like, "All right, here we go.
Jesus Christ.
We got a good one." And they brought him up saying this is his first time, so I was like, "Yeah, here we go."
Yeah.
And then he brought my expectations up so much with that line. And the rest of it was just like drunk rambling.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh man, you should have gotten more of the
Yeah.
bad wordplay." You know?
You should have tried harder to be worse.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember there was a guy in California who he was the first open micer up there. It was in Fullerton, California, and he talks about how the age of consent in Germany was like 14. And
Oh,
so he
God.
starts talking about Nazis and pedophilia at the same time. Like that was
Wow.
his joke, and we're like, bro, that is the one hell of a hole I want to see. You
Yeah. There's
It
no
was
coming
bad.
back from that.
He did.
It has to be the greatest joke ever written.
Give it up for Fullerton. Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton.
Tombstone on that set.
Yeah.
That's what anytime somebody brings up a topic like pedophilia or something, I'm like, "Oh, here we
And
go."
Nazis.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Nazis,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same joke.
Nazi pedophiles, yeah.
If a guy just slips into like, so the age you consent, I'm like, "All right, let's see where this goes." And I like go lean
We
in.
brought our family
Yeah.
to that open
That's
mic.
when everybody,
My
give me
family
another
was
whiskey,
there.
please, and then you lean in, you're like, where's this
So
going?
bad.
Yeah, I think some people see it as it's only about the taboo. and it's not about the joke. You know, like
Yeah.
That's a good point.
right,
Yeah.
right. Because there's so many people that are like have this philosophy on comedy, and it's like, oh, it's got to be speaking truth to power, or it's got to be talking about what you're not supposed to be talking about. And it's like it can be all of those things, but it can't just be that.
It also
Yeah.
has to be funny.
Well, like I can say something taboo right now if I wanted to.
Oh, yeah,
Without
we all
thinking
could,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well,
Just list all the slurs. Like,
Yeah.
Just bleep, 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 bleep.
yeah.
But I had a conversation last night with Ned Rice. I don't know if you guys know.
Love him, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about people who, they want to be like edgelords, and you should try and be as funny as possible with the side effect that you might be offensive. Where some people are like, I'm going to be as offensive as possible with the side effect of being funny.
Right.
And too many people, I think, want to be that way. They think, okay, well, I'll just be super offensive, and if one thing sticks, I'm a comedian.
Right.
No, you're just up there being offensive, and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that, and I think you see this in a lot of the comics that I like, too. I think this is the case with, like, Nick Mullen or Shane Gillis or some of these guys where they are edgy comedians, but they're not edgy comedians, like, as a brand,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because, like, there's something about the comic that says a joke and goes, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that. Like, they're talking about how they're edgy.
Yeah.
That's not funny, and it oftentimes it's lame. Whereas if you are innocuous about it and occasionally you're edgy, that's fine. Like when you do your pull rap joke, for example, you're not talking about it as if you are being edgy. It just kind of is a little bit.
Like the 9/11 joke.
Yeah. Where
Cut
you imply that you would cheer for 9/11? That's pretty wild.
I actually, Nick Ford has a great 9/11 joke. Have you heard Nick Ford's 9/11 joke?
Maybe.
I don't know if that.
Okay, I mean, like
I've been thinking about Nick Ford this whole entire
Yeah.
time. by the
Everybody
way.
has a 9/11 joke. Yeah.
So he has the best 9/11 joke, and Nick, if I butchered, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But he talks about how, like, how twins have, like, like how twins can feel something, like if one dies, the other one feels it. He's like, so I wonder if the second tower felt it when the first one fell. And coming from an Arabic dude, I'm like, dude, that's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, 9/11 has gotten to a point where it's almost funny just to say 9/11. Like, people make it into a punchline.
9/11, huh?
Yeah.
Like, every guy has a 9/11 joke the same way every guy has a porn joke or
Yeah.
something. Like, it's just... Yeah. If you can combine them both,
Yeah.
dude.
If I'm on stage 9/11, I tell it, then I'm done.
Yeah. Well, one of
Shoebox for a year.
my favorite videos I've ever seen, and again, this is gonna get very fucking dark.
It's of the towers falling? Is that
Well,
what-
have you seen where it's called, like, the Toy Story remix, where it's Buzz?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen this one, yeah.
Where
No.
it's Woody and Buzz and they're flying, and he's like, "Hey, Buzz, you missed the truck." It's like, "We're not aiming for the truck," and then it cuts the plane going into the tower. I'm sorry, I laughed like a
funny
fucking
for you.
jackal. I'm sorry.
This is why you like train wreck comedy.
Yes.
This is, yeah.
I mean, I can't
This
help
explains
it.
his brain, everyone.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
I
That's
laugh
great.
at that. So,
Oh.
hey, it'll be warm
Is
in
it
hell.
really because it's funny, or is it uncomfortable? Like, I need to know. Like,
I
how
genuinely,
psychotic are you?
I genuinely think it's funny. I think it's clever. I genuinely think it's funny.
Elliot had a 9/11 joke he came up with.
Yeah,
about
my
how
son- our son.
If the hijackers took over the plane, we both came up with this.
Yeah.
The hijackers took over the plane before it took off. They're like, well, welcome to Delta Airlines. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm your pilot, Mohammed Atta. Oh, no, wait, it's Jack Wilson.
Yeah.
Your flight to LA will be 45 minutes. I mean, 4 hours.
Yeah.
I think that the talent, if you can successfully do an edgy joke like
Yeah.
that, you're intentionally making it more challenging for yourself. And
Yeah.
if you pull it off, it's more of a magic trick, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why edgy comedy, when it's good, is really good. But then also,
I need to write
when
more
it's bad, it
edgy,
sucks.
Yeah.
edgy Polish Arab jokes.
There you go,
apparently.
yeah.
I didn't know that struck a chord with you.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I got the suicide bomber joke.
Right.
Saying
Yeah.
everyone knows that no woman wants 72 virgins, Yeah, and the burqa jokes are good
Burqa.
too.
Well, it also, like, I mean, it's the aesthetic too, right? Like, if you were some Andrew Dice Clay, like, leather jacket walking
Yeah,
out
like
with a
I'm
cigarette,
smiling.
Yeah.
like-
then it's kind of like, oh, this guy's going to try to be edgy.
Sure.
But you with,
I wear a
your
dress.
affect, it's genuinely surprising. And
Yeah.
like, it is edgy. And it's like sometimes, like, I saw a Jimmy Carr thing. I'm punching up, so I'm going to say his name.
Yeah.
He's famous. Where it was like, this clip from his new special or something, and he was like, all right, these jokes I'm about to tell, like, he basically preempted it, like, this is going to be super edgy.
Yeah.
And all the jokes were like, One Direction is gay. Like, I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I was saying that when I was 12. Like, I don't understand, you know, and maybe it would be funnier if you didn't try to, you know, say like, oh, watch out for these jokes. I'm going to get canceled. You know, it's like, I don't know, just be funny and see what happens.
Be funny.
Yeah.
Like, you mentioned a little bit like you didn't like say magic. Well, you said magic tricks.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about magic tricks on stage for comedy? What are your thoughts on that?
You want to go?
You want to
take
jump?
this
Well,
first?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you have a talent and you can utilize it in your act to make it more interesting, then do it. I mean, Tim Finkel has a yo-yo trick joke,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
good, and it's fun.
Rob
you know?
Jenkins do the Rubik's Cube. And
Yeah,
it's-
I mean,
Yeah.
anything you can do. I actually worked at the Comedy Arena in McKinney, Texas, with a comic. His name is Peter Antonio, and he goes by the Psychic Comedian. And he is so funny, but his act is really a mind-reading, psychic,
Yeah.
sort of magician act.
Yeah.
And holy crap, it's brilliant, you know? And I don't know how he does it, because he won't share his secrets, you know? But
Because he's a true magician.
yeah, he's really great. And I think I don't see anything wrong with having an act like that if that's who you are, you know? Just as long as you're authentic and likable on stage, I think that you can, or I guess hateable.
Hateable, yeah.
You know, on stage, I think that it works. I think you just need to be who you are, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I feel the same way. Like, I love, you know, Penn and Teller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those-
I mean,
they're
they're like
funny.
the top notch like magician comedians.
Yeah. So like, it's fine. I'd say like, I don't know, just make sure you're good. Like if you're
You're
just
good,
if
yeah.
if your whole angle is I got to be original, so I'm going to be a
Yeah.
magician comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd say you're probably going to be
Or
bad.
be so bad that you and Jordan and
Okay, so there was a guy.
Then I will applaud.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
There was
yeah.
a guy, a comedian, and I haven't seen him in years. Did you guys ever see the comedian that went by the name Don Bosco around here?
I don't think so.
Okay, I saw him one time at Ridley's. It was an open mic. To this day, I have no idea if this was his plan, but his closing joke was going to be this big, elaborate magic trick, and he fucked it up immediately. And I have no idea if he genuinely fucked it up or if it was part of the act, because he looked genuinely like, oh, fuck, this didn't work. And he's like, oh, that's my time. And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I'm like, dude, bravo.
I would have leapt to my feet.
We all need to do that.
Because
yeah.
again, and to this day, my buddy and I are like, I wonder if he really
Yeah.
had something planned and it fucked up, or
Did he have like a box of stuff?
I think he did.
There was a guy, I remember
Yeah.
seeing that. Maybe I was
Yeah,
there.
his real name is, I think, Bradley Bright, but Don Bosco is like a stage name. I haven't
Okay.
seen the guy in years, but
That's
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
It
No,
was-
if that was some kind of Kaufman-esque like
Yeah. ooh.
absurd
Yeah.
thing.
It may have been, but either way, because I remember I was like, ha!
Yeah.
I cackled and pointed because it fucked up. And, oh, man. But again, bravo, Don. He doesn't
Yeah.
watch this. But nobody watches our podcast except the FBI, because I've said
This is what the third iteration sitting down with stand-ups.
18th, I think, is it maybe now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
yeah.
like Days of Our Lives. At this point.
It is, yeah. It's a very... There actually is a very storied history behind this. So one day when I write a book, the story of sitting down with stand-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have even less people buy the book than that watch this fucking
I've only
podcast.
just now realized I was supposed to put this wire through my shirt.
No,
and
that's
I
okay.
just
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
had
I mean, it
in
doesn't...
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blends in.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
sorry for pointing it out now.
It's part of the schlubby show that we are here.
They can fix that in post.
Yeah, Daryl's a wizard. He can just,
Yeah, can you give me abs? While you're,
Less chins.
yeah. Just take Louis Michael's body and put it here. and then-
Oh.
Can we do that for the picture? We'll get a picture of Johnny's face, but we'll superimpose Louis in there.
Yes, I could do that for you.
Daryl's like, no.
But I was like, no.
I
it's
have
not
that
good.
talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we tried to help you out, Johnny, but...
No,
yeah,
I appreciate you trying.
Yeah,
It's okay.
we'll just have to get Louis and you back on at some point.
Yeah, I'm comfortable enough with my body that I still stand in front of people.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
I love
cool.
Louis. He's got good jokes too. He's a fun
Oh, Louis is a
guy.
great guy. Yeah.
dude. Louis is. You know how he's good is like. You know somebody's good when you can kind of do an impression of him, like the way like Brett Hayden especially will do the best Louis Michael impression. If you
Yeah.
ever talk to him, it's just this like ew, and then like something like
I love it.
I don't want to fuck it up because I can't. But yeah, I was watching Pete Holmes' new special, and he said one line and it clicked, and I had to go back and record it, and I was like, this is Louis Michael delivery.
Ooh, nice.
There's one line where he just goes like, dude, not safe for TV! And I was like, oh, that's, like, I recorded, I sent it to Lou immediately. I was like, he stole your
So cool.
cadence.
So speaking of local comics, do we want to ask who his favorite
Oh,
local
of course,
people
yeah.
are? I
Yeah.
think that would be really
Oh.
cool.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give kudos to here in the Detroit, Michigan, or Lansing, or Ann Arbor area?
Specifically in
Wherever.
in all of Michigan?
Yeah.
Michigan.
So I'm gonna leave out anybody anybody I've already named.
Yeah.
All my friends and
Okay.
stuff.
So he already loves all of
I
the
love all the
aforementioned-
people I've mentioned.
aforementioned
If I don't love you, I did not mention you. I think Simon Carlson is one of the funniest people I know. You guys might not. He's a Grand Rapids, so he probably doesn't.
I've heard the name
know
before,
him
but I
much.
really don't. Yeah,
Simon Carlson, I think, is incredibly funny. Jack Reeves, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ella Horwedel is a friend. She's really funny. I love her. I'm just. And some of them are like.
Nice to hear a lady mentioned.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just going to name everybody.
No, that's fine.
Well, you mentioned
Everybody
Louis.
I know.
Yeah.
I did mention Louis. I mentioned. I don't know if I think I mentioned Rob Jenkins. I think Rob's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rob and Pat. I'm very partial to Lansing.
Yeah.
My crew.
And
when I say
Lansing's best comedian, Nicole Melnick. We can't.
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, possibly 3 years in a
I
row.
know,
We'll see.
yeah.
By the time this comes out, we'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Nicole's like a.
She's a legend.
A
yeah.
monster. She's a
So
force
good.
Yeah.
of nature.
She's also one that has like a lot of energy
I
behind
was
her.
about
yeah,
to say, we said
she's
that
very
in the last
energetic.
episode.
Yeah,
We were talking
Yeah.
about energetic
Yeah.
comics, like
Yeah.
people who have like unprecedented like energy you want to
Yeah.
put in a bottle or something, and she has that on
yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
super nice
Yeah.
too.
It's
super-
called
yeah.
anxiety. It's
Anxiety,
disorder.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. We both
Yeah.
have anxiety.
No, yeah, Nicole is one of those. I'd say, I don't know. I don't want to just go off just listing everybody I know.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
If I didn't mention you, it doesn't mean I don't love
Yes.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Did we ask who he would want to work with here?
Not yet. No. Yeah. So, any like local comedians that you haven't worked with yet that you really want to work with?
you. Oh, like just haven't been on a show with them?
Yeah, like in the area, like Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, can I say the Midwest in general?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Alright.
fine.
My dream is to work with Larry Reeb, Uncle Lair.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for this, when I was growing up, I was living in Illinois for a little while, and my dad's boss was Jim Reeb, Larry's brother.
Oh.
And I was like 11 years old, and he found out that I loved comedy, and so he got Larry to sign like one of his CDs and give it to me. And it's the first comedy album I listened to all the way through.
Oh, that's
And
so sweet.
and I think he's technically Chicago, but a lot of people I know
Yeah.
have worked
Well,
with
we
him.
need to tag him now.
Yeah.
and
Well, of course,
Tag
yeah.
make this happen.
I know Tommy Thompson's worked with him a lot. He's talked. Wes Ward has told me stories and stuff, and I just
That's
yeah,
great.
that's just like I would come full circle if I worked with Larry.
I
Reed,
think
so.
that sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna
Make that
manifest it for
happen,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
This is my make-a-wish.
Yes, because since this is in memory
Since this
of
is
Johnny
memory of me,
Mocny.
hopefully
Yes,
I open
yes,
for
this will be,
Uncle
yeah.
Larry.
You and Carl, you'll see Carl in the afterlife.
Carl.
Poor Carl Johnson, man. I miss Carl. Yeah, poor Carl Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been gone
but
for-
not forgotten.
Yeah. Daryl, how long has Carl been dead? You remember? Do we care, actually, how long he's been dead?
I mean, don't we miss him no matter how long it's been?
Yeah, I guess you're
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's timeless. His life and death are timeless.
They are, yeah.
In the fake universe of maybe some other time, are you dead?
I'm not even existing in there. I don't think. Yeah, I don't even exist in that universe.
You died before it
Yeah,
began.
yeah, I died way before that. So, but sorry, Carl, man. I wish I could have one more conversation with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wish that you knew the good times were the good times.
yeah, I did.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, more like. I was gonna say terrible pun, but I'm not even gonna go that way. I'm not even gonna go that way because it was bad even in my head. So I stopped myself
Good.
from doing it.
That's self-control. You had a character arc over the.
I did, yeah.
process of the
I'm
episode.
redeeming myself from that terrible laughing at that 9/11 clip I love so much. Yeah. Oh man.
That's fine. That's why you're a comedian.
Yes.
Yes,
You
exactly.
gotta laugh at all the stuff.
Now, with you being a comedian and a giant movie buff, not your favorite movie of all time, but what is your favorite movie of all time and also yours? I'm sorry, favorite funny movie of all time. Sorry.
Oh.
Funny
Yeah,
movie.
Funny
favorite
movie.
favorite comedic movie of all time.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I flubbed that a little bit.
Okay, so I have a couple that I point to here.
Okay.
I love the classics, you know. I love the 80s stuff and whatever. Some movies that genuinely make me laugh until like my sides hurt. Freddy Got Fingered with Tom Green. Literally
gosh.
will make me laugh until like I'm seeing double. A Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald, on super underrated, and then Wet Hot American Summer is like one of my favorite comedies of all time. I like a lot of comedies, like I get Mel Brooks, Monty Python, all those guys.
Yeah.
Like I love all those, but something about like those movies from that '90s to 2000s
Gotcha.
period, they just hit something for me. I don't know what it is.
What scene is it in Freddy Got Fingered that just breaks you?
Oh, there's so many, but I think the one that sticks out to me the most is when he jerks off a horse. Because if I'm gonna get academic about this,
Yes,
all right.
please.
All right, let's.
He's like
let's dissect
warming
it.
up
This is
for
my
it.
film studies background.
Okay,
Me too.
okay.
I
All
have
right.
a film major
Exactly,
at Michigan
yeah.
State.
So you can relate to this. So many comedies from the era, it's like you have a goofy guy in the lead, you have Adam Sandler, you have whatever, and the whole thing is, they get into a silly situation and they have to do something crazy to get out of it.
Yeah.
But Tom Green in Freddy Got Fingered is just a psychopath. And everything he does is totally unprovoked. So he's just driving this car, he sees a horse with a boner, like on a farm, and he's like screams, pulls over, runs over and starts jerking off the horse, and then it cuts to the next scene. And something about the nihilistic, just senseless, pointless quality of that, it hits me in a way that no comedy that's trying to be logical or trying to have a point will ever make me laugh. So
That's awesome.
That's it. What's your favorite?
Very good.
comedy?
I have to say Airplane, I think, is my favorite comedy.
That's
I have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
you know?
Daryl and I were quoting that before the show today.
The running gag.
Yeah.
The running gag of like, there's a could you come up when she's like, there's a problem. Could you come up to the cockpit? And he's like, cockpit. What is it? Oh, it's the little room at the front of the plane. Where the pilots sit. That's important.
What is it?
Yeah, a hospital. The writing in that, and that's also harkens back to a time when comedies were very like, they were these well-oiled machines, and there were these background gags and physical gags and all this stuff where, in some ways,
It's like
not
the
to
blow up pilot.
yeah, autopilot. Yeah, it's such a good joke, and there's little like some of the dumb visual gags like the shit's gonna hit the fan. You see shit hit a fan, but then like nowadays I think in a post Apatow world, so many comedies are like, all right, set the camera down, let them riff, and that's fine, but that shouldn't be all comedies.
Yeah.
Being able to just cover all your ground like the way Airplane does.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to go back to those times.
Yeah.
Back to
Let's
Airplane.
make a movie, you guys.
We
Let's
should,
do it.
yeah. We'll make a movie, and if you want to jack off a horse, you can be that guy.
I'll be the guy.
There used to be horses behind my house many, many years ago until they got rightfully evicted. I had full-size horses in the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Louis Michael will play the horse. It'll be great.
yes,
Just the horse's ass, not the
I can just hear Louis doing like sitting there like.
He would do it. He'd come out.
I'm a horse.
Ew, I'm a horse. Yeah.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Before we go down this rabbit hole, what's your favorite funny movie?
Okay, so it's hard for me to pick my favorite funny movie, but I can tell you right now, the hardest I've ever laughed in my life, okay? It was when I went to go see The Nutty Professor that Eddie Murphy starred in. Because I was at the age where I thought that farting and fat people were the funniest things in the world. I had no idea what I was walking into, and I literally think I passed out for a minute. Because at the scene where they're at the dinner table, complete juvenile humor. There's nothing smart about it, but a bunch of people eating dinner, arguing and farting, it killed me. It just killed me, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Yeah. And then he has that nightmare where he grows huge and he farts and the guy lights the match. And it took years off my life.
Yeah.
And I remember going home like, Mom, I just saw the best movie of all time. Eddie Murphy farted. And she's like, oh my God, just, I don't want to hear this. I'm like, but I don't understand. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just like those two scenes broke me.
Yeah.
But one movie that I do think is great that not a lot of people talk about anymore is Old School.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love old school. The scene where Will Ferrell gets
Yeah.
strengthened.
Yeah.
Going, well, it's not a horse, but it's like a pony.
Yeah.
What is it with like horses and ponies being funny all of a sudden? That's weird.
I think any animal cruelty in general is border. I know where I'm going with that.
yeah. Well, I know. I'm glad you went there because now it makes my 9/11 thing not seem so bad.
Right.
I'm not the worst person at the table anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled for being pro animal cruelty, and then I'm gonna become an edgy comic.
I
And
thought
then,
I
oh,
was
you
the
can't-
one that was the worst because I have the 9/11 joke. I don't know.
Oh no, you've been very tame compared to what we're saying up here. So
That's so
Oh,
funny.
it's. I have one joke where part of the. I'm not gonna do the whole bit, but part of the joke is I kind of make fun of Obama for drone bombings. That's kind of the joke. And I don't consider myself a political comedian.
Sure.
But I tell this one joke because I thought it was kind of good and it's kind of edgy, whatever. And it's so interesting how that's a joke where, it's kind of a left-wing, it's such a left-wing joke, it's critical of Obama. in a way. And sometimes, though, I'll tell it, and if it's a majority conservative town,
Yeah.
they'll applaud it for the wrong reasons.
oh Jesus.
Because they just love shitting on Obama,
Yeah.
And then sometimes if I'm in that center left crowd, in Ann Arbor crowd, it doesn't matter how good I've been the whole lead up. Because this was my closer for a while. I could be killing for 9 minutes, and then the last minute I do that, and then it's just all of that goodwill goes away. And then I remember I did that one time at Blum. And I had a really good 9 minutes, and then the last one, I got a groan on that joke. And afterwards, Andrew Yang was saying to me, he was like, yeah, I love how you, for 9 minutes built up, all this rapport, and then said, here's what I think about your favorite president. And so, but yeah, no, that's, an edgy joke where it's I don't know, I just wish sometimes people, gave us the benefit of the doubt, and they're
Sure.
hey, you were funny up until then, we know you're a good person. We'll allow you this edgy thing because we know that you're not just here to be a piece of shit,
Yeah.
kind of
Or
thing.
maybe you finally showed your true color.
Maybe I finally did. Maybe I'm holding it in at the end. I can go, Obama. It's just yeah.
The mask gets ripped off like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I will
Let's see.
say, Osama Basal did tell me that he wished he had written that joke, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, when a comic says that, when they're
Oh, yeah.
damn, I hate him, I
Yeah.
wish that was
Oh,
my
you got
joke.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the highest compliment we can get.
Yeah.
And then they run you down with their car, and then
With
you
their with their license
was
plate
the-
that says
oh God, yeah. Oh, if I find them, damn vanity plates.
You ever say something
And
that
that's how he dies.
you ever say something that doesn't make the audience laugh, but the comics table laughs?
Yeah.
and it's still kind of satisfying.
Yeah, you're like, well, at least somebody's getting the joke.
Yeah, or they're with me. They're
it's written for comics.
Yeah.
Right. Unless the comics table is me, Jordan, Nick, and Trevor.
Then you're making
Yeah,
fun.
oh yeah,
Just
so
laughing,
yeah,
yeah.
that's good to know. So if anybody's watching this and you see Johnny and his buddies laughing,
Yeah.
you're not doing that well.
Yeah.
If we're the only ones laughing, you should rethink it.
Your laugh stands out when I tell a joke that only you like, and I'm like, that's fine.
I'm getting laid.
Have you guys ever been at a show and you're telling a joke and somebody has a laugh that is so funny that it's distracting to you?
Oh gosh, yeah. Ridley's this weekend. There was a lady that was she was dying. She was in the seat just to the right of me in the front, and I couldn't. I was like, okay, lady, stop laughing now. I got another joke to tell.
Yeah.
But she was crying, and that's my goal is to make people cry.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is the first time that anybody's ever, and it was during all the Poe rap stuff. And her friend was wearing a hijab, not a full burqa, but and so they must have been Arabic. I don't know, but they were dying. They loved it. So
I think.
it was distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carl Johnson, rest in peace. Incredible laugh. Carl Johnson. Eric Laux has a great laugh every time he's laughing. I mean, Casey. I don't know if you've ever heard Casey's laugh. Or Kalamazoo. He has an iconic laugh. One where it's I'm surprised he doesn't try stepping out of the room sometimes when the show is started.
Scott's Veland.
Oh yeah,
Scott has
The
a great
best.
laugh.
yeah. He's got a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so rewarding. You're like, oh yes, I got
Yeah.
when you know you got one specific person to laugh.
Yeah.
Pat has a great laugh. Pat
Yes.
Seaver, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've never made him laugh.
Oh, now you've got a mission. Now you've got a mission.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I made you joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. No,
Never cough.
I was kidding. I'm pretty sure I've heard him laugh.
There was a guy a couple of shows ago at the Rusted Crow. I don't know who this guy was. He was just an audience member, but his laugh was ah.
No.
But he was being like. Do you remember him, Daryl?
No,
You were there for that show. You remember him?
He's like a wind-up toy. Like,
Yeah, it was. I think it was one of Tom's friends. He was like,
Was it Count Chocula or something?
he was in the back, and he was like, and I was in the back, like, Jesus Christ, this guy's gonna kill me.
That sucks.
Just because of his laugh. Oh, it was hilarious, man.
No, it was good. It was good.
I mean, like, he was being genuine, but I was like, oh my God, like, when someone has a laugh like that, again, it breaks me.
I always hate when somebody is like next to your recording, like you're taping your set, and they're like, "Oh, that was funny."
yeah.
You're like, oh,
Oh, it's better than when they just go like, yeah.
Not funny enough to waste a laugh on, but you're
oh, I get
Just
it.
trying to acknowledge that it's
Yeah.
funny.
gonna
Yeah.
say words and not laugh.
To jump back a bit, I do have a question. So when you are, you guys are at shows a lot, and you were joking about how, like, he'll make a joke and you laugh and you're like, oh, I get laid. But like, because I think sometimes the thing is when you're doing blue humor and when you're telling like sex jokes or something, like if I do it, it's not about a real person. It's about, like it is, but to the audience, there's no person.
Yeah.
It's about, this is like an amorphous blob.
Sure.
This is
Yeah. It's a straw man.
Right. When you guys are on a show together and he tells a story, they know it's you. And
Yeah.
and they're like, does that...
Jordan talk to you about this? Because we just did a show with Jordan Hansen.
Jordan did talk to me
And
about
he's
this.
sitting next to me, and Jason tells this joke about, oh, my wife is so beautiful. She's
Yeah.
got this great smile and this dimple, and I just love her hair, especially the top of it right here.
Yeah.
And Jordan looks at
Yeah.
me and he goes, I've never sat next to somebody who's being talked about on stage. That's a blowjob joke.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, what's your question about it? Like, does it?
Oh, I was just asking, like, did it take a while before that was cool? Or, like, before you could be comfortable with that? Or
I'm
were
not.
you always...
I don't know if I am uncomfortable or comfortable about it. I mean, I don't know. I tell more jokes about Jason than he does about me. So I guess
maybe
that would
Jason.
be
Maybe this
the
question. Should be
question. Are you cool with it? I don't know. We host last year. We were on the Traverse
20-year-old
City.
guys, according to you.
Yeah. Just kidding. My husband doesn't want to sleep with
No, I mean,
20-year-old
you
men.
got a green light of joke kind of me. I'm not.
You're a 20-year-old guy, right, Johnny?
We do.
24.
We do green light
Yeah.
the joke. Like we don't. I'm not going to tell a joke about him
Sure.
that I haven't green
Yeah.
lighted.
That's
or
you
whatever.
run it by each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to
The
tell
hair
jokes
joke
about his
was-
small penis.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Because I was gonna say there's a thing with audiences like growing up, you'd make if I made a joke to my friend about how I'm gonna have sex with his mom or something.
Yeah.
I'd only do that if I didn't know his mom. Because that's just his mom,
Yeah.
But then if I meet his mom, now it's about Linda, and it's like I
But
can't.
what if Linda's hot? Like
Maybe Linda's
Yeah,
hot.
see, we were vicious in my friends group.
Yeah.
We
If
didn't
Linda's
care.
hot, it's not a joke. I'm gonna just try.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, I didn't know Jacob had an
And
older
here's to
sister.
you,
You know?
Mrs. Robinson.
Right.
That's great.
I'll be Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's comedy, like, and you can't. It's jokes, and if they're
Yeah.
good, if you're gonna get a laugh out of like talking about the top of my head, then yeah, go for it.
The
know.
sad part is the joke was written during actual.
Ah,
No, I'm just saying that's how bad my brain.
You
is.
like pulling
all
out your
I'm
phone to
actually
write it down.
making a
You're
joke.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't be doing.
it's like,
this.
oh, hold
Yeah.
on, Robyn, I gotta
Yeah.
write this down before I forget it.
Yeah.
I didn't write it. No, we didn't.
No, I'm just. But
Wrote it down later.
I mean, so like I was saying at Traverse City Comedy Fest, last year, we hosted the Dirty Show together.
Yeah.
So we had 2 mics and we were up there, and it's like you just banter, and it's sex is part of comedy. I mean, you make jokes about that.
Yeah.
and
Sex is funny.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my
So-
material is sex-based.
Yeah.
I'm always leery about because I have some sex stuff. There's only like 1 or 2 bits that I have that are about like me recounting something, and I'm always so like I don't want this because you don't want to fall into that trapping of being the comic that's like I fuck,
Yeah.
Sometimes the comic does a bit about having sex,
Yeah.
and it seems more like they're they really want to prove to you that they do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I promise you I get
they're
laid,
trying
man.
to brag. Like, I promise I do.
This works.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like it needs to be self-deprecating, or else I genuinely feel uncomfortable getting
That's
it
so
out.
funny.
Like, it
Yeah, see,
needs to-
mine's very self-deprecating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It can't be like this, like, oh, I was just hooking up with a girl, and then that's what I did, and then like,
Yeah.
move on. Like, I'll only tell that if I think the observation I'm making is really funny enough.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then I'll power through that setup, and then I'll get to it. But yeah, I don't.
I love that Jordan told you about the joke and like.
Jordan will tell me about every great quip he ever makes.
I think Jordan is very talented.
He's great.
I think he's a brilliant writer and he's really fun. And sex makes him very uncomfortable, and he says that on stage.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
Jordan has a lot of things that make him uncomfortable, but he's also very open about that,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is what's funny. You know,
yeah, he's very likable
very honest
and
with himself.
relatable.
well, yeah, I
and
mean,
nice.
you've got to be honest and relatable. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, Jordan has had this insane character arc too, and when he moved here to Lansing, and he had already started comedy, he was already doing it back in like Seattle, and he, his whole thing was he would wear a tie on stage, like it was part of his character. And now he's graduated, like he's in like a leather jacket, and he's like leaning on the wall. And I'm like, where did this guy come from? Like he's just like just a Chad now. I don't.
It's
know where
the
it came
evil
from.
version from Dimension X.
Yeah. It's evil
Pretty soon
Jordan.
he's going to be doing blowjob jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'll give him blowjobs if it'll help some with the
Oh,
material.
Well,
you're such a good
You're going to be
friend.
giving blowjobs. You're going to be jacking off Louis in a horse costume. You have got a lot on your plate that you got to start getting ready for, man.
Yeah.
You got a lot you got to start getting prepped for.
Yeah, I'll be like, look at me, Ma, top of the world.
Yeah.
You thought this wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
What kind of fun shows do you have coming up?
So this is going to air what, December? Like,
Yeah.
When in December?
Probably before Christmas.
Okay, all right. So I probably will already have been at the drop with Rob Jenkins.
That's cool.
Other than that, I
How
don't
did
know.
that go?
It went great.
Sweet.
I murdered.
Yeah.
I killed.
And not Carl Johnson.
Yep.
Rest in peace,
yeah.
Johnny.
Rob told me I'm the best comedian he's ever seen
Oh,
in his entire
wow.
life.
That's
At the
awesome.
show. And then I don't know. Weekend after that, I will have done Peach Pit with Jake Ford.
Oh, fun.
And then other than that, I mean, after December, I think
You're
I've
ready for
got-
bookings.
Yeah, my Mark Ridley's date is the weekend of May 2nd through 4th. So
That's
if you're
Very
cool.
nice.
thinking if I'm still alive all the way
Do
out
you know who
then.
you're working with?
Alonzo Bowden. Alonzo
Okay,
Bowden.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So I'm excited.
I'm supposed to be featuring for Tim, but we don't know what's going to happen with Tim Finkel. So
Yeah.
Right,
Well.
right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And what about you, Robyn? What do you got going on? What are your socials and everything?
You can find out where I'm playing at hardgcomedy.com, www.hardgcomedy.com, and I'm on TikTok as Funny Po Rab, and Instagram as Robyn Gilleran.
Very, very cool.
I do have those too.
Yeah?
I'm on
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok at Johnny Mocny Comedy.
Nice.
Sweet.
And then last Thursday of every month, also me and Nick Earl, we run a show at Ozones in Lansing, which is a good show. And then if you want to come to a nice bad show, the Weekly Crunch at Crunch.
Nice.
That's a great show.
Very-
That's an
Yes.
open mic, so
I
you
will
never
be
know what you're
there,
gonna
yeah.
get. It's
I cannot
a box
wait to
of
go there.
chocolates, but
Yes.
yeah.
And as always, I've got my monthly show at Bearded Lamb Brewing Company in Plymouth. I've got my monthly show at Rusted Crow Distillery in Dearborn Heights. Monthly show at Downey Brewing Company in Dearborn. And hopefully, by the time this airs, I will have finally secured Rusted Crow Distillery in Belleville. As always, thank you so much for watching it again. The GoFundMe for Tim Finkel and his family will be in this episode. Whether it's a penny, whether it's whatever you got, every little bit helps. And again, thank you guys so much for listening. Take care.